Hey guys, what's up? Ty here from Life of Ty. Today I have a tutorial, and the tutorial is how to design a logo. It's mainly for like if you're starting up a YouTube channel, or if you maybe just you don't know some things and you would like to make like a really nice logo. This part, I'm probably gonna make it two parts. The first part is gonna be just the actual text of it. So the second part is all the effects and stuff that you can do when we get to the computer. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is to get your materials. You're gonna need some paper. You're gonna need a pencil, and probably you're gonna want like some type of pen or something. Okay, so let's get started. First, we need a name. So, let's say our new channel name is Xerox. Like that. Okay? So that's the channel name. So as we can see, one thing you want to keep in mind when we're doing this is that thickness, bold letters are better, as we did with the marker. So when we write it, let's just write it normally to start with. So X, E, R, O, X. Like that. And just for some fun, we can go shading. Just follow the lines you made with the pencil. Stay with the lines, and just as you see the line just goes more and more sideways so you get thicker. You can do this with like all the letters if you want. Like that. So now that might be a little bit easier to see. Let's see, what if we move the light? That might be better. Like that. Okay. So we have Xerox. So, as we can see, this type of lettering doesn't really suit it. Xerox sounds cool, you know, because of the X. So it's obviously some type of cool name. So this doesn't do it justice. This is all about trial and error. So next thing, we're going to try capitals like this, like we did it up here. So we're going to do X, E. Notice how I'm going over the lines after I draw them? It adds like very quick shading so you can roughly see the size of how wide your letters are going to be. So, I would say this one looks better than the first one. So, we're going to keep going with all capital letters. When you're doing the basic stuff, you always want to just start straight. So let's move to our next page, because this page kind of getting crowded. Now let's do this once more. Except let's do it with our pen. Okay? Use graph paper when you're drawing it out on paper, because then it's easier to make nice lines. And then we have another X. So right now that already looks pretty cool, I would say. I don't know about you guys, but that's pretty cool. Let's start with the X. If we have multiple letters, by the way, we want to try to do the same thing for both letters. So let's see, for the X, what if we just shaded in straight lines? Do that to all of them. Okay, so just so you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be a little bit bolder. So now that looks better, right? So let's say, to make this look better, we want to bring, this is just based on an idea of like how do I want it to look. You could make maybe do it some other way. You can make this maybe a circle, something like, sometimes like you could make it look like an O like that. So we got some type of that thing going on. We can always integrate even both, so we could have just like so we have the O and the X. That already looks pretty cool. So that's why I said start with straight, because then we can figure out from there weird and like crazy shit to do. So I actually like this one better. I don't know what you guys think, but this one, I'm going to continue with this one. So we're going to say that X looks pretty cool. And then that O looks pretty cool with it too. So then what do we have? An R. So let's say for R, we want to go back to this straight thing. So we do kind of this just strokes up and down. You don't want to make it too neat. You want to make it look a little bit more free, so just do up and down strokes until you get it a little bit bold. And then and we're going to go in a little bit. And we're just going to bring it diagonal. So it doesn't really look like an R yet, but it will. We're going to do that. And then we're going to do that. So then now that kind of looks like an R, I guess, right? Already, we went from this to this so far. Now we just have 2 more letters. So we're going to keep with this style. It makes sense. So, but let's say we want to make our E a little bit more curvy, a little bit more like the O, just because we have straight, curvy, straight. So we want to have another curvy just for it because it's pleasing to the eye. So we're just going to do that for the top. A tip is if you draw lines when you, let's say you have, for example, an L, okay? To make it look a little bit nicer, when you do the L, you don't want to make it straight up and down. Try to go a little bit inwards, and then at the top, you want to kind of do something like that. So then we'll have something like that, and then maybe with this side you want to go up a little bit the other way, just to make it look a little bit more pleasing. It kind of looks like a 2, but whatever, you know. So then our E, and we continue it like that, and we go in, and we have this. Right, we just need the last X, and so we did our first X like that, but this time we could maybe flip it, you know. I think this looks pretty good. So now that we have our logo, it's this, we're gonna take it to the computer and kind of finalize it, maybe. You can do this either by like scanning it in, taking a picture of it, something. You can actually do this probably in any program. For the main part, I'm going to use Illustrator because we can use the pen tool and it'll look really nice with the curves. And we can use the bold stuff easily. So, any way you want, just somehow get this onto your computer. And meet me back when you do. See ya. Okay guys, we scanned our photo in here. And I just opened it up in Photoshop because we really only need this part of it because this part was just an attempt or whatever, so we need just this one. Select this, Control J or Command J if you're on a Mac, and then now we just have that layer. So now we can delete this background layer, and so now all we have is that. Save as PNG, JPEG, PNG, PNG. Now we can delete that one. Now we have that. So let's open up Illustrator. Okay, now let's take this. Let's just copy. Paste. There we go. Now it's in here. Now I have that. Make a new layer and set it on top. Let's make this one like 50. So that way we can see where we're drawing the opacity up here. Okay, now let's get our pencil tool to start with. And we're gonna need it pretty big. Maybe that size. We could go a little bit smaller. That's probably good right there. And then just trace over your line. But you don't have to do these parts yet if you don't want to, because that part might not come out good. So just do the actual, just like letters. Remember how we started with just the base letters and then we added all the fancy stuff? So now we have to do that in the computer. But you see how you notice if I put this oh, what the heck happened? Oh, it's drawn on the wrong layer. I was gonna say all the lines are squiggly, so we should use the line tool to make those nice lines, or the pen tool like I was suggesting we do in the beginning. So actually let's do that now and draw on the right layer. So we go here, here, drag it so it's a nice curve that matches, and then we'll take this, we'll give it a black stroke, and we'll make the stroke like 12, I guess. That looks good. So we'll do it to over here now. Okay, so now that we have it traced, we can fix it up a little bit. So make these like little edge parts here actually connected. So how to do that, we're going to click the white mouse, not the one that's black, but the white one. And then we're just going to drag it up so that way it connects. And just drag it to the end points or somewhere in the middle of it. That's good enough, I think. Okay, and then so we just keep going, drag that a little bit more even with that. Let's see. I think that looks pretty good. Let's click on our back layer, and we are gonna just make this opacity to 0. So that's what we have so far. So let's just we can delete that. So now this is our logo. I would say it's a pretty good start. So we can do a few things here and there. This is where we're gonna need this the pen tool, yeah. So what we could do, we can always go over the line to make it a little bit smoother. If you double click it, you can see, and if you make it like 4, which I think it defaults to, when you go like that, it should like round it out. So it'll end up like that. So we'll do it to this side, and then we'll do it one more just to get that little edge part. So that looks good there. We'll keep going. And what you want to do when you're going over it, try to make the ends thicker and the parts towards the middle thinner. It'll give it like an effect that you kind of like drew it with a marker. It'll look pretty good when you're done with it. So I think that looks pretty good to start with. Let's zoom out and look. Wait, what? Oh, wrong button. So I think for a logo, that'd be pretty good. So technically we would be done, because I think that looks pretty good. So it's just up to like little last effects here and there. And then for the actual background part, that'll come in the second tutorial. If you guys request it, that's when we're going to be taking this into Photoshop and making it into the document size for YouTube and whatnot. So once we do all that and color it and stuff like that, it'll look like it make a really good background. But until then, that's how you get an idea pretty much how to make your own logo, your own text logo, I should say. Not really logos, but like the actual text of what it's gonna say. So yeah, check out my channel, subscribe, and comment in the section below, and yeah, thanks for watching.